Hey there. So, I have been thinking about this whole inflation situation lately. It seems like prices are just going up and up. Got any thoughts on how we could control it?
Oh, inflation is such a pain, is not it? But yeah, there are definitely some ways we can try to rein it in. One of the main tools is monetary policy.
Right, monetary policy. That's like when the central bank adjusts interest rates and stuff, is not it?
Exactly. By tweaking interest rates, the central bank can influence borrowing and spending in the economy. When they raise interest rates, borrowing becomes more expensive, so people and businesses tend to spend less. That can help cool down inflation.
Makes sense. So, do you think we will see inflation start to come down soon?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. The central bank has to find a balance between keeping inflation in check and not stalling the economy. Sometimes they will raise rates gradually to avoid causing a sharp slowdown.
Got it. So, what else can they do besides playing with interest rates?
Well, they can also use tools like open market operations. That's when the central bank buys or sells government securities to control the money supply in the economy. If they want to decrease inflation, they might sell securities to take money out of circulation.
Ah, okay. And what about fiscal policy? Like, could the government do anything to help with inflation?
Definitely. Fiscal policy involves government spending and taxation. If the government reduces spending or raises taxes, that can help reduce demand in the economy and ease inflationary pressures.
But would not cutting spending or raising taxes be unpopular?
Absolutely. It's a tough sell politically, especially if people are already feeling the squeeze from high prices. But sometimes it's necessary to keep the economy stable in the long run.
Yeah, I guess there are no easy solutions when it comes to economics. It's all about finding the right balance.
Exactly. It's a delicate dance, but with the right mix of policies and some good old-fashioned economic management, we can hopefully keep inflation under control.
Well, thanks for breaking it down for me. I feel like I have a better grasp on how we can tackle this inflation problem now.
Absolutely, staying informed is key. And sometimes, even with the best policies, there are external factors that can influence inflation too.
Like what?
Well, things like changes in global commodity prices, natural disasters affecting food production, or even geopolitical tensions can all impact inflation. It's not always just about what we do domestically.
That's true. It's like a domino effect sometimes. One thing happens somewhere else, and it ripples through the whole economy.
Exactly. And that's why it's important for policymakers to stay vigilant and adaptable. They need to be ready to adjust their strategies in response to changing circumstances.
Makes sense. So, do you think we will see inflation start to come down soon?
It's hard to say for sure. A lot depends on how effective the measures we have discussed are, as well as those external factors we mentioned earlier. But with careful management and a bit of luck, we can hopefully get it under control.
Fingers crossed then. Thanks again for the insights, buddy.
No problem at all. Anytime you want to dive into the intricacies of macroeconomics, you know where to find me.
Do you think there are any long-term solutions to inflation? I mean, something beyond just tweaking policies here and there.
That's a great question. Long-term solutions often involve structural changes in the economy. For instance, improving productivity through investments in education, technology, and infrastructure can help mitigate inflationary pressures by ensuring that the economy can produce more goods and services without driving up prices.
So it's about increasing the supply side of the economy to match the demand.
Exactly. When supply can keep pace with or even outstrip demand, it helps to keep prices stable. Additionally, addressing underlying issues like income inequality can also play a role in reducing inflation. When more people have purchasing power, it can lead to more balanced and sustainable economic growth.
That makes sense. So, it's not just about short-term fixes, but also about making fundamental changes to how the economy functions.
Absolutely. It's about creating an environment where inflationary pressures are naturally kept in check over the long term. Of course, that's easier said than done, but it's definitely something worth striving for.
Definitely. Well, thanks again for the enlightening conversation. I feel like I have learned a lot about inflation and how we can tackle it.
Anytime, my friend. Economics can be complex, but breaking it down and discussing it with others is a great way to make sense of it all. And who knows, maybe one day we will come up with the perfect solution to inflation.
Do you think there's anything individuals can do to help combat inflation on a personal level?
That's a good question. While individuals may not have direct control over macroeconomic factors, there are still some steps they can take to mitigate the impact of inflation on their own finances. One approach is to focus on saving and investing wisely to preserve purchasing power over time. Diversifying investments and considering inflation-protected assets can help safeguard against erosion of wealth due to rising prices.
That sounds like a smart strategy. It's all about being proactive and preparing for potential economic fluctuations.
Exactly. Additionally, being mindful of spending habits and seeking out ways to reduce expenses can also help offset the effects of inflation on household budgets.
That makes sense. It's like taking a proactive approach to personal finance in the face of broader economic challenges.
Absolutely. By staying informed, being proactive, and making prudent financial decisions, individuals can better navigate the effects of inflation on their own economic well-being.
Thanks for the advice. It's been a really enlightening conversation.
No problem at all. Always happy to discuss these topics with you. Let's keep the dialogue going and continue learning together.
Definitely. Take care, and let's chat soon.
You too. Until next time.